It is Women's Basketball Media Day here inside the River States Conference. I'm Randy Payton, joined by Rio Grande head coach David Smalley as we discuss the Red Storm getting ready for the 22-23 season. And Coach, last year your most successful season ever, 32-3. You make the national tournament. You advance to the championship game of your opening round pod and lose to Marion there. I guess question number one is, how do you follow that up? I'm sure a repeat performance, it's a pretty tall task to ask for.
It's a great question, Randy, and if my father were still alive today, he'd say, boy, don't talk about that. It's water under the bridge. But we are going to talk about that because it was an unbelievable ride last year. I was so blessed to have such a great group of young ladies and a great coaching staff that everything just kind of fell into place. We didn't have any injuries, no major issues, and it was just a great ride, and everything kind of fell into place. But you don't get to enjoy a season like that until kind of at the end, and you can reflect. But an unbelievable ride for me, and this is my 31st year here at Rio, and I don't know that I've had anything as spectacular and as enjoyable as what we went through last year. So how do we repeat that? That's what we're working hard to do right now, and it's our energy and effort is still there. We got a lot of returning players, we got some new players, we have some incoming freshmen, and I'm really proud of them and what they're doing, what the players are doing, and coaches are. We're on high alert. You know, we have a as they call it, target in the locker room because everybody's going to be coming for us, and we understand that. And that this league, I'm so excited about this league. Everybody's stepping everything up, and we'll talk about that a little later on. But we're excited and ready for the challenge, Randy.
You got a lot of folks back this season. A couple of them we'll hear from later. Ella Skeens, who was a third-team All-American. She was a Conference Player of the Year, the Newcomer of the Year. Kaylee Darnell was a second-team All-Conference selection. You lose China Chambers. You lose Haley Jordan. But you get Lexi Woods back from a year off. You certainly got some tools to work with.
Well, without a doubt, and a player that we also lost was Avery Harper, which, you know, was, again, a dynamic group of young ladies. But again, as Daddy would say, water under the bridge. And I'm excited about who we have with us this year. You'd already mentioned Miss Darnell, first team all conference, and just does a great job at the guard spot. She could play 1, 2, 3, is able to really do a lot of different things. And from talking with the coaches, I know that that's a concern. She is a concern for them. Of course, Ella was just unbelievable. Ella was Ella, and you know we expect the same out of her again this year. We have Aaliyah Kreitz that's going to be joining us today, and Aaliyah I thought was kind of in the back a little bit, but you know what? She's going to be in the front now. She's exciting. She's long. She's athletic, and she's going to do the things that she did last year, and she's just going to exponentially, you know, multiply those things.
Moving on
up, like to the east side.
Yes.
We're going to the national champion side. We also have, and I'm just going to go down through these people. Asia Williams, I thought, did a great job coming off the bench at the guard spot, and she's kind of finding her own path this year and doing a tremendous job with that. And then, as you mentioned, as far as returnees, but she didn't return, Lexi Woods, and we're going to talk a little more about her. But Lexi sat out last year, and she had a baby, and I'm a grandfather. I'm a proud grandfather, and she's done a tremendous job getting herself back in line. So it's like a new recruit as far as I'm concerned. Then we had, you know, some sharpshooters from the outside. Reagan Willingham could shoot the 3. Courtney Pfeiffer, one of our better three-point shooters, can also shoot the 3. Have Kaylee Ross that can shoot the 3. Jocelyn Abraham's going to step in and fill a void on the inside. You know, we lost Avery, but I think she's going to help us out on the inside in the post. She's doing a great job. We have Mikhail Bates. That's, you know, think back, Mikhail Bates, Indiana Tech, when we beat them up there, I don't think we beat them without her. Right. So we just got a plethora of returning players, ones that we just talked about. We have some transfers that we're really excited about. Grace Force, who transferred in from, help me out, Malone, thank you. And she's at the guard. She's a more thicker, stronger, bigger guard that we can utilize on the inside as well. Lavender Ward, another guard who's from a junior college out of New York. She's originally from Charleston, West Virginia area, but she adds a little different element to what we're doing. And then Natalie Kalidajev. I think I got that right. I'm not sure, but
you're pretty close.
She's from Austria.
I've already told her when she gets the ball, shoot. I don't want it passed around a bunch of times.
So, and then we have two true freshmen, Marley Grinstead, just from up the road at Alexander, and Skylar Bosley from Parkersburg, and they're coming into their own as well. So we got 16 players, 2 freshmen, 3 transfers, and the rest are returnees that we're pretty excited about. I
had down here newcomers who could make an impact, and you mentioned somebody who's not a newcomer, but Lexi Wood's coming back, and you could arguably say now that she's in better shape now than she was before she took the year off.
You know, that's an interesting concept that we will probably send it up the ladder to see. Is she a newcomer? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, she is a newcomer, but you're right. She is a newcomer. She sat out last year. She's going to, I think, have an impact. She's 870 some points in her 2 previous years that she played for us. So she's going to give us inside scoring, just high IQ and things of that nature. I think all of our people coming in, Lavender and Natalie and Grace, I think are going to have an opportunity to have an impact in what we do. Every player in our team has that possibility and that probability that they can do that. We're going to play, and we like to play a lot of people as we've done in the past. We'll see how that goes, but if they're getting the job done, they're going to play.
We'll let you, last thing for you, talk about what the league brings to the table this year and a little bit about your schedule.
Schedule, I tell you what, I think I'm going to fire my guy that did the scheduling. It wasn't me.
I understand.
But he did what we asked of him. Let me go through the scheduling. We have our first tier schedule I want to talk about. Rochester, New York. They're from the Wolverine, what we call the WHAC conference. They made it to the national tournament last year. We're at their place. We go, Bryan College comes to us out of the Appalachian, the AAC. They made it to Sweet 16 last year. Okay. Weber University out of the Sun Conference down in Florida. They made it to the national tournament. And then, not to mention, we're going to Indiana Wesleyan out of the Crossroads, who also made it to the Sweet 16. That is our top tier schedule. Then our next second tier schedule, University of Pikeville. We had 3 losses last year. One came from Pikeville when we played them here. We lost by 3 points. They're from the Mid-South and very, very competitive. We go to their place. And then we have, of course, our own conference, which is going to be, I think, a much improved conference from what we saw last year in the scheduling and the recruiting that's been done. We have 7 non-conference games with top 50 schools, and 5 of those games are away and 2 are at home. So we're playing that little game with the Raiders. You know, they kind of said, you didn't get rated as high last year because your schedule wasn't as strong, but we ended up having possibly we were number 11 on the RPI. So that argument didn't hold water, but we said, okay, that's all right. We're going to beef this schedule up. So you got to win some of those games. Those 7 games, if we're 4-3, I'll be okay. If we're 5-2, I'll be extremely happy. 6-1, 7-0, you can see where that's going. So good schedule, tough schedule. But our players are up to it, and we're looking forward to getting this thing started.
Speaking of your players, you brought 3 of them along with you. We'll hear from them coming up. Joined now by a trio of members of the 2022-23 Red Storm. To the far end of the table is Aaliyah Kreitz. In the middle is Ella Skeens. Next to me is Kaylee Darnell. We'll start with Ella. You were a bit of an unknown quantity to the opposition last season, but I guess in the Halloween interest of things, the mask has kind of been removed a little bit. Do you that make you go even harder now, knowing that the opposition is going to be focused on stopping you?
I think coming in to a new program last year, I was a little uneasy, a little not uncomfortable, just getting used to the program. And I think that's what it took, and my teammates were, behind me the whole way and supporting me. And I think if teams are going to try to, put a little bit more pressure on me, I think we'll have no problem leaving my other teammates open. You know what I mean? They'll attack the basket, score in many, many ways. So I think we'll be fine if that happens.
Kaylee, we talked with Coach Smalley about 32 wins last year, the most successful season in program history. What's this team do for an encore this year?
I mean, 32 wins, 3 losses, that's going to be pretty hard to beat. But no doubt with the new faces we have, we did lose a few good players, no doubt. But the freshmen, the transfers, getting Lexi back, no doubt in my mind, I totally believe that we can do it again this year. We've been focused since the very first practice. All the girls, the freshmen, the returners, everybody's been focused. So I truly do believe we can do it this year. Strength of schedule definitely increased, but all that's going to do is help us in the long run for the national tournament and stuff like that.
Aaliyah, talk about what it's like to be on a team that truly likes to share in each other's success. I know there are people on this team that score more than others, but this group is really, really unselfish.
It definitely makes it more exciting because no matter who scores what points, we're all cheering each other on, so you're just playing more for your teammates, and it's more like
Team. It's more team oriented.
like it's more supportive that way. It makes it more exciting for everybody who's playing.
Through practice thus far in the preseason, what's your impressions of this team so far?
Oh, I'm extremely excited. Everybody's really focused, getting everybody ready and like set into what the program expects has been really good. So I'm looking forward to it.
Kaylee, a bunch of games last year where if people didn't have a program in front of them, you wouldn't know that you were a freshman. Where'd that come from?
I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I guess like just AAU, high school ball, we always had a good conference where I played high school, and we always made a good tournament run every year. So making it to like the regionals, you always played against good competition, and of course like training on your own, like getting in with your trainer, doing the extra work, stuff like that. It's really prepared me for the next level. It was definitely a harder transition from high school to college than what I thought, but I enjoy college ball so much. So, and obviously my teammates make it super easy on me, just setting me up in the right positions and stuff like that.
Ella, we'll wrap up with you. There are some players who are gone from last year's team, but a lot of good ones back, and Lexi Woods added back into the mix. I know obviously you're getting a chance in the preseason to practice with her and see what kind of player she is. What's it going to mean to this team having her back?
No, it's different playing with Lexi because in high school, we were always rivals for 4 years. But this summer and like getting to play with her and like learning, she's been here and she has much time left, and I think a lot of people look up to her, and I'm so excited to be ready to run with her on the floor and how the team turns out.
All right, well, that is a look at the 2022-23 University of Rio Grande Red Storm women. We appreciate the 3 ladies joining us today, Coach Smalley as well. And that's a wrap here from 2022-23 Women's Basketball Media Day.